So you've been a judge on America's Best Dance Crew for about the past first season, so how's it been overall?
Actually, it's been a really, really great experience.
Mm-hmm.
It's got its ups and downs because we have people that are really, really passionate about the show,
Mm-hmm.
and they're passionate about the show, but they won't vote.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that bugs me the most is when I watch the show, I come in the show, I judge the show, and then the next week we have a bottom two, and then the crew gets dropped from the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then they hit me up on MySpace like, why did you drop them? Why did you drop them? We loved them. And I'm like, why didn't you vote for them?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's got its ups and downs. Other than that, I think it's the hottest show on TV, and I'm proud to be a part of it.
Have you ever had like a really bad upset where you've really been like pulling for a crew and then all of a sudden they're out?
Say that one more time?
Have you ever had like a moment where you've really been pulling for a specific crew and then all of a sudden they're gone?
I had situations where a crew was really, really dope, and I was like, oh my God, they're sick. They're going to be on here for a minute, and then they come in and do a whack performance. I have dealt with that before, and that was a group called Status Quo,
Mm-hmm.
which they were on the second season, I think. And they came in there, either the first season or second season, but they came onto the show, and they was rocking, they was ripping it. You know, they were straight from the streets, which I totally can relate to. They had a lot of great creativity, they were acrobatic and all this, and maybe 2 shows or 3 shows into it, I was like, what are y'all doing? The choreography started to drop, and their concept started to lag, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, you know what I mean? So, you know, but then they picked themselves back up, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, and it was like one day I told him, I said, I don't care if your foot is hurting, I don't care if this is going on, y'all here to dance, y'all here to win this show, to represent. And then the next show they came and did one of the best performances they'd ever done.
Do you have a most memorable performance in the past 4 years?
My most memorable performance probably came from, I have a couple of them, like it's so many. My most memorable right now is when Beat Freaks came out, and it came out in all white, and they did the robotic intro, where they were in all white with the goggles, and B-Girl Shorty, and B-Girl Shorty was spinning on her head and put her glasses on at the same time. That was hot.
Do you think you've had like a favorite crew, or are they all you think your favorites?
I'd say Beat Freaks is probably my number 1 favorite, and then it goes to Jabberwockies, and Quest. You know what I mean? Quest. The winners, basically. The winners are usually the ones that I favor the most. But even though Beat Freaks didn't win, they're still one of my favorite crews ever to come on stage.
Mm-hmm. Now, the 4th season just started a couple of weeks ago, so how's it been going overall?
It's been going pretty good. We got a lot of interesting characters on our show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to be a little more. I'm going to be a little more strict on how I judge them. I've been kind of lenient right now because I'm just letting them get in the groove of what they're doing and trying to get a feel for them. But I will get a little more technical, a little bit more firm on the situation, the crews as the crews go. You know, if they're hot, they're going to be hot. If they're not, I'm definitely going to let them know that.
Now, what advice would you give to crews trying to get on the show?
Study more than one dance style. If you're a popping crew, take popping classes, learn from the best. If you're a breaking crew, look at all the past episodes, the past seasons, and do tricks or get tricks that we haven't seen before. Because it's only so many times you can see people do halos and windmills and flares. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we want them to be better than the year before, be more creative, and as far as like what the group represents, just come from a different angle. You know what I mean? If your group represents sexy, be sexy. If it represents being crunk, be crunk. You know what I mean? If it represents being street, be street.
Now, during the whole audition process, what's like that one key factor you look for in a crew?
Actually, the judges don't get to go in the audition
really?
process at all.
So, let's say if you were to be at the auditions, what would you look for specifically?
I would look for creativity. I would look for musicality. I would look for originality, of course. And, and those are probably the main 3 things. I just want a crew to come on there that's not basing themselves off of the past 4 seasons. Not basing themselves off of, we've been seeing on YouTube. I want to see a crew that looked at everything on YouTube, looked at our shows for the past 3 seasons or 4 seasons, and then say, you know what, we're going to flip everything that we've seen already and come on there and turn the show out. That's what we look for. We know we can't find that in every crew, but if they're trying to be better than that, those are the ones that probably will make it on the show.
Because you know what, watching the same thing over and over again just gets boring at some point.
No, definitely, and that's why sometimes when I'm on there, like I haven't really gotten into them yet, but eventually I'm going to tell them, like, the next time a person comes on our show and does this move or do this choreography, or their theme is their choreography is on this style, I'm going to let them know that we're sick of that. We've seen Jabberwockies, we've seen Status Quo, we've seen the Quest Crews, we've seen Cabo Modern. We don't need to see that no more, okay? I understand being influenced by those crews, but be influenced and be dope enough to take it to the next level. Exactly.
You could use their style you can get influences from their style, but you have to put your own originality into it all too.
Definitely. I'm not mad at anybody who like looks at the Jabberwockies and is like, oh shoot, we're influenced by them, we want to be like that. But take what they do and take what you do and make something different, so we can be like, oh my God, they favor the Jabberwockies, but they're on another level. You know what I mean?
If you yourself could put together, your own crew, these members could be dead or alive, who would you put on?
Oh God. I would have Poppin' Pete from the movie Breakin'. I have Poppin' Taco with AKA Bruno from the movie Breakin'. I would have Dead or Alive. I would have, oh God, I would have my boy Free. Y'all don't really know him yet, but he's sick as hell. I would have my boy Nick. You don't know him yet, but he's sick. The up and coming choreographer dancers. I would have Mr. Wiggles. I would have the whole Rocksteady crew as my breakers. And who else would I have?
You gotta have Michael Jackson in there.
Yeah, but let me get to Michael Jackson. I'll tell you why he's the last on the list. I can't think of anybody else. Oh, and Boogaloo Shrimp. And see, the reason Michael is the last one because all the 3 of the names that I named, they taught Michael. You know what I mean? So, I wanted to name the people who basically created him. So when people read this, they'll be like, oh, he named the people who created one of the best entertainers in the world. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, I like to have Michael to put the icing on the cake.
Now, do you think you could have handled Michael in like a little dance battle?
I would eat Michael. I'll eat Michael and spit him out. This is the point I want to make. I love what Michael did. I think he's one of the best entertainers in the world. But Michael Jackson, he really only had a few moves. You know what I mean? And most dancers on the street right now, dances changed so much since, 85. You know what I mean? That, Michael will really have to practice and train to be able to compete with a lot of the dancers of the day. I love what he did. Trust me, I love what he brought to the industry. But after Michael does a kick and does a spin and do the backslide, then you're gonna be like, okay, Michael, we need more. You know what I mean?
And you want to tell everyone where and when they can check out America's Best Dance Crew?
When? You say when?
Yeah, when and where.
Oh, you can check out America's Best Dance Crew at 9 o'clock on Sundays, the new night, the best night, the only night to rock the show. America's Best Dance Crew is the way we go. MTV, baby, King Sparks represent.